What's the deal with nuns?
None your business.
No, that's actually something we're going to investigate, people. But yeah, I'm back. Me and Ricky are back. We're not as busy. Actually, he was way more busy stream time wise than I was. I was working nights though, so off and on I couldn't stream.
Well, yeah,
But then
for a while
got in the
though,
way.
For a while though, I had 9 days of double shifts in a row, so a little cramped, a little busy with stuff.
We're gonna come back last week actually, and he's like, "Oh, I'm working today." I'm like, "What? Work?" But your shit's over. Fuck you.
Yeah. But now normalcy has settled in. Reality is back, and we are back.
Everything is back thanks to Trump. He's not even taking office yet, actually, and it's just everything's good again.
I love the Sippin' song, Liberal Tears one's got a full version now, and I fucking love it.
I don't know that. You'll have to.
Oh, dude, then we can react to that. That's
I'm a Fuentes guy, so I saw the Your Body, My Choice like fresh live, and I was just like, ha ha ha. And I thought nothing of it because it's like he's on Rumble, and so that's just like Nazi YouTube. You can't. No one shares Rumble, you know. Like I didn't think it would go anywhere. He had like 100 million views on that fucking that tweet, and then people clipped his fucking rant, and then they made like a TikTok remix of it. It was hilarious. I was having so much fun with that. And then like now it's like, oh, it's been like 3 days of no streaming because he's probably dealing with like legal shit because of the harasser. And so I'm just like, where is my Fuentes content?
Fuentes, where are you?
Yeah, these fucking liberals ruin everything.
Yes. You want to watch this now or say
yeah, I have not seen it, so you'll see me react to it.
Okay, let's go.
I swear to God, if you idiots elect that demented man, I will burn this whole fucking place to the ground.
How did we get here?
I'm done. I'm done.
I'm done. Nice to meet you. What the I guess so. Music to my ears got me thirsty though. Ooh, good gushing. You done got me buzzing. Nothing hits the spot like an arrogant twat balling on TikTok. Raise a shot. Oh, I've been sipping. Nothing satisfies up the taste of the glass. They're flipping, tipping. Went to my soul, but I never get full. Bottomless glass, no empty cups. Bathe in the rain of pretentious folks who don't listen. I listen. Pour me another hairy sister.
I love it.
Good God, you're a touchy bunch. Fresh tears washing down my lunch. Sanctimonious fruit punch. Lap up the juice of entitled country. Hate them bitches. Drink it like fishes. Delicious. One of my favorite dishes. True malicious. Grinning like Ulysses. Mega back in business. Oh, I've been sipping. Enough to satisfy like the taste of the glass. They're flipping, tipping. Went to my soul, but I never get full. Bottomless glass, no empty cups. Bathe in the rain of pretentious fucks who don't listen. I kissing, send out around a Kathy Griffin. I'm sipping, just knowing that they're flowing really gets my motor going. I can't help it. I can't help it. They're crying and denying, say they're leaving, but they're lying, throwing nothing. Looking at you, JoJo from Cheers, you're dumb. It's just so good. Oh, I've been sipping. Enough to satisfy like the taste of the glass. They're flipping, tipping. Went to my soul, but I never get full. Bottomless glass, no empty cups. Bathe in the rain of these baited cups who don't listen. I guess in, pour me another hairy sissin'. I'm sipping, knowing that they're flowing.
That is fucking
really
good.
Gets my motor going. I can't help it.
It's freaking hilarious.
That's especially with like the AI voice of Trump, and then making him like Wigger Trump.
Yes.
It's so funny because it's so smooth, funny rhymes, funny imagery.
It's catchy. It's good. I think he's putting it on iTunes.
It's like legitimately a good like hook, good little like
nothing satisfies like the taste of the cries. Oh my God. It's like it's in my head now, a little earworm. It's Jokes on Wokes made that. That's gone.
Jokes on Wokes. That's
a lot of
fucking
people are
good.
playing it. It's fucking hilarious.
Well, what's up, Keely Chow? Thank you for bringing the beef. Yeah, I know it's abrupt.
I know, an abrupt return.
Abrupt return. But Rookie, we're talking back room, catching up because we're kind of out of sync. I mean, of course, we have such good chemistry, but our routines over the phone have been totally out of sync.
Been like a whole month of like we've barely talked to each other, or when we have, it's only been like a half an hour or something.
So much so Rookie's calling me and I'm having to
and then he's like
what?
Yeah, he's not
I'm like,
available.
nigga, I'm at work, nigga.
I'm like, but then I go to work and he calls me and I'm like, I'm at work. Then yeah, so anyway,
I didn't know you were that white, Rookie.
Yeah. Speaking of white, so I was reacting to Blood Ruth, which she's
totally not white.
She's not white, as we all know. One thing I noticed, I had to look back in ISOM 2 to see, because I was like, at the very end of the trailer, like she has little blood. Or actually, have you seen the trailer? Do you just want to?
I actually have not. I've not backed.
It's only a minute long, so it's like
no. You can get me reacting to it. That's cool. I've been needing to catch up. I'm behind. We'll have to look at Katie clips.
Yeah.
Sorry, Katie did clips.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so it's like I'd rather just show you it instead of just
show me and then point out what.
Because that'd be easier anyway to do that.
It's funny watching that sipping thing, because it's like, this is how I feel when Ripitards see me enjoying laughing at the Ripiverse, where they'd be like, he made $1 million, he's made $5 million, whatever the number grows total of his shit, and it's like, and I'm still laughing, it's like I'm Joker, you can hit me with ISOM and hit me with its funding numbers and shit, and hit me with like Mark Millar said his stuff was okay or whatever. I'm still laughing because it's dog shit, and it's like, you can't stop me from buying it and reviewing it. And like that, it's so weird that it hurts them so much that I'm actually paying Eric money. I'm only helping him win. But obviously he's not, because me and Tony, Katie, EVS were all laughing.
Exactly. But yeah, so it's
God put a mark on the damned that would let others know they are not to be killed. The sin pumped through the veins of one descendant to the next. All bore the same mark. The hunt continues for the one that got away, but my mission beckons me forth. This feeling I have is getting worse. Something pulls me west. I must find out why. I am the last one of us left. The blood of my family runs through my veins, and no one can take that away from me. Flores Park had better be ready for me.
All right, so that's the trailer. Flores Park.
No, it's just like, if you're like New York or LA or Chicago or Dallas or St. Louis, Miami, like all these names of towns, it's like, oh man, that's a big populace. Like that could get like a crazy story.
Yeah.
Flores Park, Texas. Where? Like, you might fool people think that's a real small town somewhere in Texas. Like
maybe. Well, so like as far as the trailer goes, I actually kind of like the style a little bit, with like the blood drips here and there on the pages.
I like the animation.
Yeah, it's not like super animated, but it's just enough. Like the images they show, I think, are good for it, and I like the blood drops on there. The fits the tone. They set a tone with this. That's neat. I actually still have no idea what's going on in this, though. It's just like I've got to go somewhere, and I'm the last one, and
just so you feel comfortable. Eric doesn't either.
Yeah, but no, like it, like I don't. I don't know what is going on. It's just like, so is she like a vampire hunter, or is she like a Van Helsing or something? Like
It seems that
it's
way.
one of those things where I have, and then she says going to Floor Spark, and it's like, what's going to be in Floor Spark for that? Like, I feel like it sounds like she's trying to go somewhere else. Like, you'd think like she's like the last one left, so something with her culture would lead her to like somewhere else. But then again, she's a character that has a castle in the middle of the country of Texas, and I don't know, with the dragon, and
That's what's funny too, is like you just pass this like in the country of Texas. And like as soon as you say that, it's like we're like, this is what book 6 of the universe. And it's like, yeah, it's the country of Texas. She has a castle and a dragon and magic wolves. It's like, wait, what? Texas is a country, huh?
But so without that, so okay, my thing that I was like, what? So her blood that comes out of her fingertips, when I read Ice, I didn't really catch like what it was. Just like, okay, whatever, she uses blood powers, who cares? But then it's like, okay, I was looking at this and I was like, okay, that's neat. But I thought it like, I just imagined that she actually took that from a wound or something and like controlled her blood, but no, it just comes out of her fingertips. And I'm like, that's actually really lame. Like, I assumed that like you need a wound, like or at least a prick.
Yeah, like in fuck it, what is it, the Gen V or whatever, the Boys spinoff.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't remember if it was required that there needs to be like a prick somewhere, but it's like
she usually cuts herself. She usually cuts herself,
like,
but she can fuck with your blood. Like her power is blood manipulation. It's not my blood; it's any blood. So she can like blow you up.
But the thing is with blood is that it comes from inside of flesh bags, essentially. So it's like if it comes out at all, it needs to have an exit from the. You know what I mean? So it's like, having it come out of the fingers, I can see why like EVS doing the cover assumed it was like energy or something, like chi, like just I don't know, electricity comes out, because I wouldn't think that it's blood if it's coming from the
so
fingertips.
Funny that he pulled a Disney Lego on himself with EVS of all the people you'd snag to do a cover to sell a book. It's like the best-selling cover Eric's done. His EVS cover, and the fact that he misdirected him because he's being so secretive about anything, including his a contractor for a pitch piece. That's what the cover is. Like, fuck, what is that? And 2 things. He didn't tell him how Bloodroot's powers work, so he could draw it accurately and more concise for his style. And then also, the lead character, Isom, is the only boring part of that cover.
Yeah.
He literally just has the monkey in a noogie. And he's just like kind of staring at the camera. And it's like Bloodroot's like contorted to show her tits and her curves and the blood. The monkeys are all like, wah! And I just like,
yeah, so I don't know. So it's just like, so, okay, so she's like manipulating her blood as if it's energy. Like that's what she's doing right here, like telekinesis or something, with just blood though. And so it's like, all right, I would assume that in this issue they're going to, without telling the audience, but showing the audience or something.
I ain't drawing it in crayon for you.
Oh my god, it's like, will you have like a dead body and then somebody's like, hey, can't you like use their blood? No, I can only use my blood. Or do you just do that? See, like I thought she was walking in this trailer, she was walking by a dead body and then just like that's how does the same motion she's doing right now, but that way it's not coming from the fingertips, it's coming from somewhere. That's my thing with this, because otherwise I don't think it's that interesting. If it comes from a wound of some kind, I think that's more interesting, because you technically have to damage yourself or somebody else to utilize your power. Like,
yeah, so he did this with Gooding to save money. I really hate him using the comic clip art slide reel, even though he's like animating like blood drops, whatever, because it's Bloodroot. Just all these slides of the comic that is obviously clip art. It's not just an Isom issue. It's every artist he's hiring is clip arting It's very obvious because it's almost like AI, but it's not. It's just clip art. At least we're getting like some eyes looking at you. You know, like Eve talks about the shame.
Yeah, there's like, in a way, I would say better direction, but honestly, I still don't know what's like. A trailer shouldn't tell you a lot, but it should tell you a little, you know.
This
And it's
doesn't like excite me. Like Horseman's exciting.
Yeah.
Well,
and so it's like, this is a thing by the Saska sisters, right? They're doing Bloodruth, right?
Yeah, he's breaking the mold. He's been pretty consistent with like, well, the Negro writes the Negro character, and then
right, and they wrote Yaira
white
also,
ladies,
right?
right? Yaira.
Yeah.
Team thing he gave to Chuck Dixon, but I'm assuming he's worked like he's done Bat Family stuff, so like he's done teams. A Mexican draw it. Oh, Brazilian, same thing. And then Gading was dorky white guy, Mike Barron, and I'm assuming a white artist. And then it's like, oh yeah, I guess we're gonna get to write Bloodruth, the Saskas again. It's like, Jesus Christ, it's like a shitty.
You should have given Bloodruth to like Andrew, so it's like very different than.
I mean, that's a woman at least. Dude's such a queer.
But I don't know. I mean, so what do you think of this trailer other than what you said
shitty
already?
blade, and then this like religious tones of like the sin of, it's like vampires go back to like Adam, the sin of man. Like that's what I'm getting, even if it's not exactly yet. It's just like it feels so lame, actually. Like
to me, it really didn't give us anything at all.
Well, like, I don't know, just thinking biblically, it's like the sin of Adam is a taint on all of humanity. All right. So it's like, it's not like Beowulf where the demon that he fights is a incarnation of like the sin of Cain. That's an interesting idea. And then that's why I like the Zemeckis movie, because it's like, well, if he's born of sin, that's like his natural state. So then it's like, is he evil? And so he like makes him like this deformed like man child that's just like, he's got exposed eardrums, and so sound hurt. So he's like lashing out. It's not even like,
you crazy kids, turn that ruckus down.
Yeah, it's not even him being purposely like maniacal. It's just lashing out at pain, and then he eats people, but it seems like a passive, just like, oh, it's food. They're dead. What's the problem? Like, there's no like, I'm. Are you scrumptious?
I have the right. I have the right to do it.
Yeah, it's there's no like ill intent in the character. It's like he's bombarded by his existence, and so it's a very interesting take. I don't think people appreciate it. Obviously didn't do that well, but I can't wait for you to watch it. It's a great movie. But yeah, like that's a cool like specific twist concept, but just relying on like such a generic like sin idea, and then there's probably some god thing tied to Bloodruth where she's the last of like a special like angelic kind. But that's where it gets weird, because Eric like makes these very Christian specific sweeps with some of his characters and their dialogue. Isome's got a cross on his belt that gets misidentified as associated with a Christian church. I saw Mass Bloodruth about like dimensions or whatever, and then she like dismisses like, that's fictional nonsense.
Doesn't she take him to a dimension though?
It seems like they just go to a cave. I don't really remember how they transition there, but it just seems like it's a physical dwelling in Texas that is maybe like a portal way, because then like the dark side demon comes through. But whatever. But there seems to be something where it's like, oh no, there's only one hell, but like all the other cultures had like inklings of the truth. It's like there's this Christian kind of idea of why they don't ignore the philosophers that were like pagan, pre-Christian. It's like, well, they had some truth. They didn't have all the truth, but they were like on the right track. It's like this dismissive tone of like, well, they're not us, but they were getting there. Thankfully, we came. Like, that's the tone where it's like only Christians have the answer, which is fine because that's your religion. You think it's the supreme knowledge. So, like, okay, whatever. But when you're like dominant in society for like 1500 years in the West, it's just like lame, especially when you get into comics and you have space shit. But then you also, excuse me, also have the Yaira Viking thing, and they worship the gods. And then Neptune is real, and he's like a Romanized, Poseidon. So that's
don't forget about Dakuman.
Oh yeah, and Dakuman is like the Watcher. He's like this omnipresent idiot. So yeah, the like religious hierarchy doesn't really make sense, and so this tone feels kind of like Blade Christian, given what we've seen of her in Islam 2, and so it just is lame. And then I know the Saskas grew up Catholic, even though they're like, what they've put out seems very dismissive and angry at religion. That video we watched of like the Canada thing. So I don't know, man. I expect like a really lame girl boss Blade with like lame religious undertones or inklings that like limit the world of this comic universe even more. And then also it's in Floor Spark still. So
I'm actually shocked that this is in Floor Spark. Like, I thought really it was going to be obviously somewhere else, or like something involving medieval times, like her castle, something with history, because she lives in a castle. So I assume her ties go to ancient stuff. So why would it be in the country of Texas?
Which wouldn't be crazy because, like, with the Islamic invasion of Europe and their expansion, the Golden Age of Islam, it wouldn't be crazy for blacks to be intertwined in some sort of medieval plot, given like the Mediterranean trade, like Africa's, available. So it's strange. I don't know. I'm just like, it feels pretty lame. I think the sales are doing pretty good, but it's a chick character, so that gives you a sales boost because boobs. There's like always anticipation of just like the scandalousness of it.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, Eric's like doing this limp dick. It's kind of for everybody, even though this is like kind of more in the like.
I thought you said it's supposed to be a horror genre one. So
sure, no, sure, it's like horror genre, but like his whole universe is kind of like lame in all ages. So even though
I mean, it's the kind of thing like I wouldn't want like my 10-year-old nephew to read Islam. Like
I actually want everyone to read Islam. Like, I'm actually upset more people don't know about Islam. I have to explain more and more and more of like the saga of the Rippaverse.
Like, yeah, but I mean, of course, in terms of like the contents in it is like, well, that doesn't seem like for a kid. Like,
yeah, no, it's not that it's not that it's perverse. I mean, arguably, like Christian weirdos would be that like to censor everything. They would be like, whoa, like I said, with the Mormons that wouldn't watch rated R shit, and it's like, you're a medic in the army and you won't watch Black Hawk Down. That's weird. Not because of the blood, but just because of the rating. Like that just barred them from watching it. And I'm like, what? Yeah, I don't know, man. And also this is coming out after Halloween. Like, this guy's so fucking retarded.
That is weird. I would think that it should be like done by now, by the end of Halloween, or at least the campaign run for it.
Well, Eric's getting to the point now where he's trying to like recoup. He's trying to make up for single campaigns being like gangbusters like ISOM 1 and 2. And so now he's trying to like assembly line this shit, but then he's making them such big stories that people can't make this in time. And so he has this campaign window cushion for finishing the products, obviously, but then he's still like delaying shit. Like Yaira technically came out during winter. Barely, you know.
If it comes out during the last 2 days of winter, I mean, I guess it technically counts as coming out in winter, but it misses the season as far as it being like within that season, really.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, you dropped this around Halloween, but no one's gonna get it till Christmas or later. Like,
I mean, technically, you probably want to do it in a way where you finish your campaign at whatever time, even before Halloween. And then people are getting it by around Halloween or something. With how they do their shipping organized and stuff, sure, you know, utilize their quick shipping to their advantage, right? So that during Halloween season they can read the book, not just get it after either.
I don't know.
If you start the campaign even, you know, during it, but then it ends, and then it's still going to be around Thanksgiving or Christmas by the time you get the book anyway. It's kind of like, well, I mean, you could get it any time of the year, I guess, but what was the point of... I don't know. It seems a little like still figuring it out, I guess. Because then there's Jay's book too, and you don't want that to conflict too much with
well, that's the thing too. He dropped Bloodruth like
time.
A few days after the pedophile book. it really gives me red flags. Like, I actually get really annoyed. People are just paranoid about pedophiles and everything. Like, oh, Hollywood pedophiles. Like, sure, okay, whatever. Like, yeah, like, I don't know if that's a problem. Just don't watch movies. Don't engage entertainment. Because yeah, that's probably going on everywhere with these people that have the access. Like, it's just, so I really get annoyed with the paranoia, but you know, so I don't have that on my brain a lot, but like that trailer, I'm so glad Biggest Problem reacted that way, because Dick really echoed everything I was thinking. I was like, this is fucking red flags all over the place with this trailer. Fucking 40-year-old white guy writing this, it just feels weird, man. But yeah, like Eric just like quickly overshadowed him with Bloodruth, like right after he released it. You know, it's like, it seems like a conflict. So if I'm trying to assembly line this stuff like month to month now and shit with projects, his fans are going to be able to keep up.
Well,
like,
it's like already
$25
that alone feels like a pile up. Like, it's like, whoa, this, you just launched something else. Like,
25.
And honestly, is Horseman done? Like, what is that done still, or like?
I think it's still in campaign.
Because like, okay, like, all
or maybe
right,
it's
like,
closing today or tomorrow. Let me see.
All right, it just seems like, yeah, that one's still not like done. I don't think.
I think it's
Gooding wasn't that long ago.
Indie Comic Jones. All right, let me see. So Indie Comic Jones posted 10 hours ago. Bloodruth at 14 days, so 2 weeks, is at $435. So that's not bad.
$435.
435,000.
Yeah.
7,000 books sold. Horseman is at 63 days, has 741,000. But so he's selling 12,000 books, but the ISOM statues have only sold 148, and I think he made 500. So it's like that's a low number. 500 is not like a huge number for statues. It's like a good limited run, and he still can't sell them. He's got like 500,000 subs. So it's just, I think that, you know, like, it shows you no one wants your shit. He couldn't sell Yaira.
Wait, hold on. So is he doing a statue thing too at the same time? Right
Statues, now? I don't know if it's separate or if it's part of Horseman, or if it's just on the website. But yeah, I think it's a 500 count. He's only sold 148. And it's Young Ice.
Oh, right. I forgot about that one too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm behind, but
something.
luckily nothing's really happened. Riley went to his hearing today to accept a plea deal. I don't know the full status of stuff, but he's got a jury trial date set for like late January. So I guess. And what's funny, I saw something Eric was trying to dodge culpability, where it's like, oh, this isn't my charge to drop or press. This is the state. And it's like, why did the state press it, Eric? Because you fed them tweets for an ongoing time after calling the cops for bunny money.
Hey, that's fictional nonsense.
So this weird, like, oh, it's not my fault. Like, I'm pretty sure you could be like, hey, actually, just never mind. Because, like, this is the state of Texas acting on your behalf. So it is totally you. But Riley refusing it means that Eric will have to take the stand, or at least open himself up to that, to being called to the stand. And thus it'll be on record if he refuses for whatever reason, if he recuses himself for however he can, if that's allowed. I think being the plaintiff, I think plaintiff and defense both have the right to like not take the stand.
I want Rekieta to be there for some reason too.
Dude, he's got it. Hopefully this is like televised or some way we can watch it.
I doubt it, but maybe.
This is the trial of the century, rookie. I mean, it's funny because it's just so bitch made by Eric, but it's also like, no, it's a big deal for free speech and maybe defining the parameters of that law that is, from what I understand, made for domestic violence issues and harassment for like battered wives, trying to like evade their abuser. Like that seems what the law is for, and then Eric's applying it to himself as like a business. So it's really bitch made, especially for an anarcho-capitalist who doesn't ever live by the code he preaches all the time. Hey, what's up, Scummy Wummy? I'm launching a new CG book today. It's called Whores Man. That's good. I like that.
I'd back that, sure.
I would back it, yeah.
Why not?
You should get Johnny Rocket to help punch up the writing for you, wherever you're defective. Given that he's done so well with his parody of I Saw Him, he landed an EVS job, so it's clearly some proof in the pudding. Yeah, no, that trailer is like fine. Again, what is with this like cutting corners with the animation?
I'd be more okay.
Go on money.
I'd be more okay with the cutting corners on the animation if the trailer told you anything significant, but it's just kind of like the blood something. There's sin of something. I'm the last of something.
Right, the sin of something.
It's like, it's like, oh my god, can I just get like one definitive? There's one person. His name is blank, and I got to go see him.
Oh,
something like that. Just something small.
I saw something.
Reveal anything.
I saw something crazy. Let me find it. Let me go in the chat. I'm in the Anti-Ripa Alliance. I saw something good here earlier. Yeah, if Riley loses, he's going to get up to 180. He's going to get up to 6 months in jail.
Plenty of time to do lots.
Okay, so Ripaverse Comics. Mobster Tuna calls in a favor to handle his horseman problem. What mayhem will this rough-looking duo cause for our new favorite vigilante? Find out in the pages of The Horseman. Welcome to Florspark.
Wait, what are horses like natural enemies in the wild?
Wolves, coyotes, bears. Like if I'm thinking of like America, cougars. That would be American humans, Indians, I think, for a long time. Yeah, horses were extinct in America because the Indians were eating them, which I mean makes sense. It's like it's a nice lean meat. You know, horses don't get fat, you know, typically.
Yeah.
You know, aside from like I think there's like Mongolian breed of horse, and so they're going to have some fat living in the cold, but you know, proportionally they don't get fat, they don't get obese. So
did we get told any reason yet as to why he is the horseman? Because I was thinking about that today. I was like, does he? Oh, I was thinking about the process of that, like how.
Oh, wait, okay, wait. My guess. I don't know how they're gonna play this, but okay. So this is the other thing, like with my military knowledge, where it's like that's fucking weird to just totally gloss over. Like Texas is just a state now, and they just had a war, but they won. Whatever. Just glossing over. It's like the medical training, the main medical training base of the military is in Texas, in San Antonio. It's where I went as a medic. So they do Army, Air Force, Navy, I'm assuming Coast Guard, probably some civilian crossover stuff for the military, like contracts. So a lot of doctors and shit in the military go to Texas. You got Fort Bliss around like the border of New Mexico and Mexico, in El Paso, west, you know, Panhandle area. And then you got in the center, I want to say south of Dallas, you have Fort Hood. I think it's the biggest military base, or one of, in the U.S. military. And their main unit, if I'm not mistaken, is 1st Cav, and their symbol is a horse in like it's like a horse head in a shield. So yeah, I want to say like 100,000 soldiers in Fort Hood. So those are federal troops. But yeah, that my guess is that's like the idea is like this guy's probably ex-military, and whether they're going to actually use that specific thing or just hint at like Fort Hood. That's my guess of like a Texas awareness thing, and like, you know, cowboys, so horses. That's my guess. It is a Chuck Dixon written book, so he clearly actually knows things.
But he doesn't have his own like steed to ride into battle.
Right. That's where it's strange, where it's like you think like, oh, the horsemen, like the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, like they ride horses in the Bible.
Well, and part of me thinks this weapon would be like almost like jousting weapons or something, you know, like a giant spear and shield or something.
Yeah, it
which
horse
like
what? So I'm looking at stuff on Twitter, and I come back to the chat, and the first chat I see is horse rapist. Go on.
But I don't know. I just the idea of him is funny when you think, because just thinking about the typical reasons why they name their superhero name after animals, typically something integral tied to it. Typically something about their power set, or about Batman with his mentality. Horseman, like what made the horseman become the horseman? And you know,
I love how it's like the highly anticipated, like every time they just say highly, it's like just because you're saying it doesn't mean anything. Like,
well, even when things say like #1 on whatever, I'm just like, that information is like literally white noise. I don't care.
When they say issue #1, well,
no, I'm saying about movies and stuff too. We're just like #1 is
the
blah, blah, blah.
#1 movie in America.
Yeah, I'm just like that means nothing to me.
That means nothing.
#1 on 100% of Rotten Tomatoes. I don't give 2 shits.
You could have made $5 million your opening weekend on a $250 million film, but no other film was hitting 5 million, so you're #1 in the world.
It's just irrelevant anyway. Like I don't care about that. That doesn't make the quality of it good, you know.
Hold on,
people literally bought pet rocks, you know, like doesn't really matter. Making money for its quality.
Oh shit, I should probably take horse rapist off the screen.
Not to keep on there long enough, you know. That's pretty good.
Oh man, Goalpost
Or
is
is
gonna
it- or is it that
Goalpost
he-
is gonna clip that. And he's
or
gonna
is it-
this
or is
guy
it-
just leaves horse rapist on the screen.
Or is it that he was raped by a horse and now he's a horseman?
So I don't know if this is a new trailer or not, but this is on Reverse Comics.
I think it's a longer one.
God put a mark on the damned. To the next,
Jesus Christ.
there is a cursed bloodline. The hunt can take.
I feel like there's gonna be some
What?
hibbity jibbity at the end.
The bat transition.
Whoa, we got a plushie! A plushie! A shaker rookie for all of the high energy gym enthusiasts of the Rippaverse. There's so many fucking muscle heads in the Rippaverse, rookie.
I'm
we
surprised it
have
doesn't
these
come up
shakers.
with something as simple as like a blood snack thing filled with Kool-Aid or something. You know, to drink.
Yeah,
Blood sack
it's
pouch.
just dude, you're selling to like 40. You got to think your average audience is like 35-year-old white guys. They don't want a fucking Black Girl Magic plushie. Sorry. Like, I don't think
What merch would you come up with for this type of thing?
I wouldn't make this.
But if you
Is
had
the
to,
point.
if you were given a paycheck to come up with an idea,
Body pillow?
this.
Like, I would just, you got to lean into like Coomer shit.
I thought you'd go instantly to statue or something.
Well, yeah, statue, like Blood would be cool. Like, have her fight like a vampire. Like, it would have to be like sort of a diorama, or it's like multi-character statue. But yeah, I would do a diorama of her with whatever foe, like some sort of, run-of-the-mill vampire or werewolf or whatever. That is like a scene from the book. We're not like a key scene of like the main villain, where it's like one of the like horde or posse of the main bad.
See, it's kind of funny. We're assuming it's going to be vampires. It might just totally be regular white guys or something that she's got to fight.
It'd be blood sucking, like the stock market of Floor Spark, Texas. It'd be the Wall Street of Texas.
I'm just imagining like literal like Bill Gates geeks or something. Like, hey,
It'll be like Gooding
Blood Ruth
and his friends.
Gooding and his friends have to face off against Blood Ruth.
Yeah.
See, I'm still hung up just on the powers thing that it like comes out of her fingertips. Even in that trailer that showed her from Ice.
I was thinking it'd be a funny
shoots
twist.
out of her fingers, and it's like that, I just don't like it 'cause it doesn't. It's blood, and it just shoots out her fingers. Like
I was thinking
so
it'd be an interesting twist
minimal.
if it's like this is his sister Altona, or it's like a sister he didn't know he had, and so this ties into why he's an accept. That he's not like the other accepts because he's got some sort of like heritage birthright, bloodline.
Yeah.
But he's like a different variant of that gene or whatever, kind of like an X-Men
He's
idea.
got to come to terms with his Christian values, but while being actually demonic or something.
Yeah, a shaker, like if you just made like a cup or a tumbler, but a shaker, that's for like weightlifters to like break up their power.
I think like a thermos. I think just like a thermos, like for coffee.
Yeah, so the fact that it's
Yeah.
like shaker, that's a very specific, even though you could
Thinking-
just use it for a water bottle, but it's like shakers are targeted for like a specific idea of like weightlifting. You need your protein shake.
Blood Ruth Band-Aids.
That's funny.
They make Hello Kitty Band-Aids and SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Make a Blood Ruth one.
I love
There you
when I
go.
go to the doctor and like to take my blood if they have like kid stick
Take your
band-aids.
take your
I don't want your
Band-Aid.
stupid skin tone band. I want Avengers.
That's funny. Yeah, I don't really have much more to say about it. That's just,
No, it's just like you got me stuck now. Like, what would I make? And it's like, oh, I know, either a booby or a butt
Bluetooth tampons.
mouse pad. You know,
Yeah.
like the Coomer mouse pads with like the tits or the ass for like the armrest on the mouse pad.
Yeah.
That
That makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, some sort of like figure or statue. Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, I get that he's trying to make it more unique, but oddly enough, like that
she's literally wearing a
specific item-
bra.
that
She's-
item would probably actually work better for Isom because his first scene is him punching a bag working out. So it's
Well,
like,
it's just annoying because like this plushie thing's so gay because this is for guys, you know, even if this is like a gimmick to try like, oh, we get cutesy stuff for girls, whatever the angle. It's just like the comics are for guys. This is a hot chick in a bikini with leather pants. So this is it's for guys. Girls can like it.
you'd be surprised. I think the plushie angle is more for the YouTube sphere of like
Right. No,
for
he's
some
just
reason,
he's just
some
latching
reason,
on to the faggot
plushies
fucking
always happen
fellowship.
these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it's fucking gay. No man needs like this is a Funko Pop. This is a stuffed Funko Pop. It's gay.
It does look like a stuffed Funko Pop.
That's what I mean. It's like this is gay. Like it's not even what was all the men in your audience craving a plushie of Black Girl Magic? I don't think so. It's just really weird. He's a channel that talks about wokeness and diversity hires and shit. So it's like I don't think the guys would want. I don't think they'd want a Yaira one. You know. Yeah. I'm just always like, what would you make? Not that.
Socks? I don't know. At this point, I don't really know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'd make like Bloodruth thong for the girls. There you go. Bloodruth thong.
It's gonna be one you said tampons.
Yeah, tampons, that's obvious joke. But yeah, honestly, I would lean into those kind of jokes or something. Or, have some sort of like it's a thing, but it's in like Bloodruth tampon packaging because you're like aware of like, yeah, or period. That's obviously going to come up with blood chick character. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was lame. But let me see. Look at her later. Yeah, pedophile comic. I'm not sure how far down this is. I have not investigated the Rippaverse for a while. Wait, what is he sharing? He's sharing a different comic, a non-Rippaverse comic. I don't know why my stuff's going so slow. Let me get rid of some of these windows. So that's Judex. I don't know who that is.
I have no idea.
It might be Preston Acevedo. I don't know what comic that is. So Judex getting Testament 3. Strange. Reverse is sharing random.
Maybe somebody on the team was like, "Oh crap, wrong account," and then
This is
somebody an accident.
Mobster Tuna calls in a favor to handle his horseman problem. What mayhem will this rough-looking duo cause for our new favorite vigilante? All right, so let's see what is going on with these people. This looks like shit.
I assume they've.
This hand looks fucking awful. Like, I don't know
They're
what's going on with this
probably
thumb.
these are probably one-offs from Norfolka.
This is the main opponent of Horseman. But they both got this weird cross tattoo, but it's like blades.
I guess like the imagery doesn't make me think, yeah, that's a good match.
It looks like they're like bothering people at a Burger King. Like this guy's just sitting there, he's like,
I wanted large fries. You can't be medium.
you forgot the pickles. Oh my god, what is this?
I mean, one of you says Blood Ruth ball gag.
Horseman. They're sharing some retards video. Riververse Comics. I saw one groundbreaking new comic book universe. See, look, like just randomly, they're starting to do like customer outreach and like through this main account sharing other
After
campaigns.
people have said that they don't do that.
Non-Rippaverse, right? After everyone talking about it for a while. It's funny because I type in "rip," it pulls up Rippaverse goalposts first before because of like searching. So let me. I haven't looked at what has gone on with goalposts in a while. Let me see.
It's been a little while. I haven't really.
I think I've
out.
actually seen.
You haven't been clipped in a while, so who knows?
Yeah, I think it's like when I scroll, I've seen these posts. Nothing really new. I'm kind of disappointed actually. Nothing really good to like counter detract goalposts.
You see what Sturgis has been up to?
Nah, not this week. I don't care. Hey, what's up, Karen? Sorry, I'm not engaging the checks. I'm like, trying to like scroll the Twitter for that stuff. Let me see. Go back to where we left off. Horse rapists? ? You take that down. You're making me look like a horse rapist.
See, I took it like they did that to him.
Right, yeah. So many Olympians in the Rippaverse fandom. It's just weird because like they latch on to like Eric talking points of like, you fat, don't be fat, all these fats, and it's like most of your fans are probably fat. What do you?
Yeah, that's who you're selling to.
I've had enough with women and they're whining about periods in their life. Why the fuck would I want a superhero version of it? What's up, Karen? Ball gags. Has Achromatic reached 40? Last I checked is at 61,000. But yeah, no one in 3PO's fandom or the Rippaverse seem to actually care. So
well, what's kind of weird is that I think the first one, not having read it, like the concept seems to be like, oh, it's a black and white NPC kind of world where everything's gray and everybody's the same. They all do the same stuff.
Pleasantville.
And
I was explaining to someone and they said Pleasantville. I'm like, that's actually perfect kind of parallel.
Yeah, I think of like that 3D model thing that I told you about, where like the 3D sphere goes into the circle 2D world, and it's like, there's other dimensions, and it's like that's what this kind of looks like, but with colors. And it's like, okay, like I can see where there's an idea there for something, but with how long the first book is, I haven't even read it yet, but I plan to before Green arrives. But
Wait,
I don't
did
know.
you back Green?
Not yet.
Okay.
Still some time for it, but it's like, as far as the concept for the thing goes, it seems like a one-time story, if you ask me. But I don't know. I mean, maybe he's got
not
something.
till the black girl sings, rookie.
It's just like in the trailer when it's like, everybody's expecting something from me. When that line is said, it's kind of like, but what do you mean? What can they expect? You just said everybody does the same thing and nothing. You get sent away to a camp or something. You get sent away if you do something different. I imagine the camp.
Shut up.
She says sent away. Like, but then like, they're all expecting me to do something or counting on me. It's like, but for what? Because there's nothing different.
Everything's the same.
That's maybe just me reading into it.
That's a fucking self-defeating concept, actually. That's fucking retarded.
Just like maybe that's me reading into what they
No,
said
it's like
specifically.
Terminator.
It's just like,
Terminator is a self-defeating concept with the whole let me send my dad from the future to the past to my mom. Like, that doesn't work.
yeah.
You have to like ignore that and then just enjoy the good plot after that retarded plot point that
Right.
is key for the whole thing to even work, and then it doesn't, but it's a good movie. Like,
Yeah.
no, that's hilarious actually. Sometimes, like, like I have a certain train of thought, so some of these obvious assessments just evade me, which is annoying. Like, some of the best jokes are like in the SpongeBob realm of like, oh, it's such an obvious joke to make. What, like, but no one thought of it.
Just let him have it. You can have it.
Or no, my favorite is like, can't have dirty garbage, and instead of like taking the trash out, he just literally Lysol's the trash in the can.
Yes, that's perfect.
Now the garbage is clean.
Yes.
Retarded. What, okay, let me see. I think I liked it. Let me see. Let me go through my profile. Would have been from earlier today.
I don't have my glasses on. It looks like a Baki or Boki's in the chat.
Yeah, I was about to address him.
Yeah. No, my glasses, I can't read the name very well.
No, not that one. Oh.
What are you looking for?
That was from last motherfucker. I left my phone in the living room. I'll share it next week. It was funny. It was it's this like cartoon. It looks like a screenshot of someone sharing a cartoon like on Tumblr or Reddit or something, but it's like a 4-panel comic, and the doctor's like, time for a blood test, and so he like draws the blood, squirts it into a dish, but then it goes into the blood cells, and they're all sitting in desks for a test, and then like one of the blood cells is like, shit.
Oh, so you failed the
blood test.
You failed the blood test. Right, yeah.
It's funny because my manager were in the break room, and he was like bitching about work shit like a retard. Because it's like, this is a break room, why are you talking about work? But he's in the zone, he's whatever, and he's all angry with it, and I'm like trying to show him something, and he's kind of like waving me off, but then I'm like, look, and then he looks at it. Yeah, at first he grabs my phone and like mocking, like, hello, and then he like looks at it, but then he's like, ah. Then I was like, yeah, it's worth. Then the next guy saw it, and it's a good time. The whole shitty comics for sick kids and military personnel is shameful and a massive scam that doesn't get called out enough. Oh, dude, yeah. As a vet, I hate everything like veteran pandering, because vets love like conservative Trumper, like people that tout their vet status, usually conservative, Republican, whatever sector. I'm a Trumper, not a conservative necessarily. I mean, I guess I lean voting right Republican, but I don't claim the party because they're just as useless as Democrats. Anyway, they love, painting like, oh, America and like, freedom and the flag and shit. They don't give a fuck about your free speech if you're a libtard. And it's like, I don't care about libtards and their opinions, but I really take a problem when there's like this like double standard of, it's like, you don't care about vets that are for Obama or Kamala or Biden or Clinton. It's only your little sector, and that spills into various ways, and then you get like this pandering shit of like veteran owned and operated Black Rifle Coffee, and it's a big fucking con because these queers talk a big game about America and values, and then they hang out with Kyle Rittenhouse, who is, a star for self-defense, gun rights and shit, being targeted because of the riots and shit. And then like they get heat and they instantly fucking cave and ditch him in the association. And they kind of do like this soft BLM pandering. They turn heel really fucking quick when their money possibly was, which is like, you're already sold yourself, you've already like cut yourself out of like the libtard, them actively seeking to support you. They're going to actively seek to boycott you just because you're for guns and whatever, America. Like, you're a Nazi to them as a company. Like, why would you care? But like, people forget instantly that like they're a fucking fraud. So I listen to Rogan all the time, and like every 30 minutes there's like 3 or 4 fucking ads, and one of them is always for Black Rifle Coffee, and I'm like, phonies. Rogan, whatever, he's like a amoebus liberal that likes guns, he's cool, but I just like, he's got sense, but then he seems like forgiving or turns a blind eye with shit like that, and rubs me wrong. And I just really hate when vets promote shit, but it's obviously like one-sided. And this whole charity shit, hate it. It's scummy. If you support charity, like there's a double-edged sword of like, if you don't use your celebrity or be vocal about a charity, maybe it won't get more money to do its goal. But then by promoting it, tying yourself to it, you look virtuous. So then like saying it makes you like virtue signaling. You can't really win either way. So there's some like awareness of that, but ultimately it's one of those like, yeah, the charity can take a hit, but just like as an individual, as like an influencer with money to make and like an image to build by associating, just don't promote charity. It's fucking gay. Especially when you do like cancer or kids, then it's like a guilt trip, or if you're at all suspicious or weary, then you look like the bad guy. Just don't invite that to the fandom, like, this is about comics. Just make it about the comics. Donate on your own fucking time outside of the spotlight. If they want to tag you and be like, oh wow, our friend Drunk Deepio, we just love him so much, you want to tout him as the group, cool. If you want to tout Eric for giving you your shitty ISOMs, cool. Don't make it part of your campaign. Don't promote yourself doing it. Like, it's scummy. It's a scummy wummy thing to do. Yeah. It's funny. I go to this new like drive-through coffee shop, and I always get green tea, peppermint, half ice. And every time they swipe your card on this like tablet, and then they're like, "This is going to ask you some questions," and they like kind of turn their head in shame, and it just says tip. And so it's like, I asked for a tea with a squirt and ice. You will get no fucking tip. Like, this isn't a special order. It's the easiest fucking order you're going to have all day, besides just tea with nothing. Like, no, that's the only thing that's easier. You're not getting a tip for that. Fuck you. It goes with the charity shit. I hate the tip shit. I order to go like hibachi, and it's like $40 for some egg rolls and a plate of hibachi. You're not getting a tip. You didn't come to me. You didn't cook you didn't entertain me with a volcano onion that you turned into a train and made a whistle. No tip. No tip. Fuck you. And it's funny because Rookie's like, oh, the tips. It's like, you make a wage. You don't need tips.
I just go, oh, the tips. I said the tips are helpful. That's
tips are cool.
Tips are helpful. And I think sometimes my point again was more that you'll get some employees that that are just total dog shit. But then you get really good ones that are like, wow, if only there were more of you. And then you tip that one that actually does good. It's like, okay, you danced for me, monkey. I'll give you $1. There you go.
I'm loving this Scummy Woman night. You might get a squirt of something else next time then. For example, come. No, I'm aware of, they might spit in your shit if they associatively figure out like, oh, it's that guy again. Let's spit in his food before he picks it up. Like, sure, that's a risk, but
he comes in next time and he doesn't get like spit in a sandwich. He's like, where's my cum sandwich? He's like, we came for that.
I expected cum in this sandwich.
I'm not gonna tip you because you didn't do what I asked.
My client wanted cum in his sandwich. My client expected cum in his sandwich.
he needed it.
Oh yeah, so we're talking. I have this movie out from the library. Immaculate, I think. Let me double check. Sydney Sweeney. All right, yeah, so it's called
Immaculate.
Let me find the synopsis. An American nun embarks on a new journey when she joins a remote convent in the Italian countryside. However, her warm welcome quickly turns to a living nightmare when she discovers her new home harbors a sinister secret. Why did I say secret?
The sinister secrets live there.
No, I said secret.
Oh.
What were you laughing at?
I thought you were saying it like the Sinister Six, but it's the
no.
Secrets.
I caught myself pulling an Elmer Fudd. I'm like, why?
It's a sequence of very
a sinister secret and unspeakable horrors. So I started watching it. I've heard it's boring. I don't know. Like, I like the quote unquote boring horror movies. Like, I just watched Longlegs and I'm like, fuck, that was great. I'm confused definitely on the ending. Like, I don't know how I feel about like the full reveal, but I really liked it. It's like the next Silence of the Lambs. I really like how detached the actress is. I don't know how she is in other interviews or anything, but she plays this like detached, kind of aloof detective really well. I instantly bought it. It sticks out. It makes you kind of pay attention more because like she's odd, yeah, so I like The Witch is like one of my favorite top 10 movies. That's like a boring horror movie. So yeah, but I started watching it, and the first scene is like this nun is trying to escape the convent. She steals keys out of like the, I guess, head mother's, I don't know what you call the top nun, but the like head mother's drawer. But it's like an old wooden drawer, and they're like old skeleton keys, and it's like no fans or anything, so it's like completely quiet. So she's like making all these sounds trying to sneak out the keys. So you're just like, oh god, and so she gets out, rushes to the gate, unlocks it, but there's a fucking chain on it too, which is like, I don't know if she didn't see it. They film it all these different angles where it's like obviously it's right by the lock, but she figures out to try to unlock that. She slips out, but then these like other nuns pop out of nowhere, and then they like grab her through the gate, and then they snap her leg in the fence, and then she wakes up in a coffin, and that's where they leave it. And then it's like credits. We get to Sydney Sweeney. She's getting a tour of the convent, and that's when like I was like, wait a minute, what are nuns for? Like, what's the purpose of a nun? Religiously, because I used to be Catholic and I'm very interested in religion. And so then I never finished the movie because I'm like, what is it? But I never investigate what a nun does either. So we're going to do that today, me and Rookie. Fresh together, we're going to examine nuns. Not how I would like.
But nuns were meant to like discipline women.
But they are women, so.
Yeah, but they're like fatter women usually, right?
I don't know about that. Mother Superior. Okay. I like that. Yeah, Top Nun.
Starring Tom Cruise.
Yeah, no,
Top
Top Nun. It'd be like The Sound of Music, where it's like this nun, she's trying to be a nun, be a good nun, but then Tom Cruise works at the airport next door and she just can't keep her eyes off of him.
I'm picturing him dressed as a nun flying the jet.
No, well, you know Sally Field, Forrest Gump's mom, she was in a show in the 70s called The Flying Nun. So she had like this peculiar headdress. It wasn't like the customary like black and white nun. She had like this weird nun hat that was kind of like wings, and I guess she'd fly with it. I don't know the concept, never watched it, but I'm aware of the show Flying Nun. And figured a nunnery is like a whorehouse for monks. But yeah, we're gonna find out. We're gonna investigate what are. Wait, I think I got one video pulled up. It might take a minute for us to figure this out, though. Looks like there's like a nun channel, does like Q&A videos. We shall see. But first, there's this video from Grunge. Rules you didn't know many nuns have to fuck, I got hiccups. Have to follow. Pause. God damn, that's like instantly playing. Let's see. All right, into the nuns zone.
There are lots of different orders within the Catholic Church, and they have slightly different rules for how to be a nun. But while traditions, ceremonies, and rules of conduct may differ from order to order or convent to convent, there are some rules that almost all nuns have to follow. One of the most important things to note is the often confused difference between a sister and a nun, which is especially confusing thanks to the fact that nuns refer to each other by the title sister. According to Simply Catholic, though, a sister deals with outreach. They might work in healthcare or do community work like at soup kitchens, that type of thing. Or they may have more typical sounding jobs like working at a nonprofit liturgical printing press, for instance. Either way, sisters usually live in a convent, a sisters-based residence that might contain a chapel, individual rooms, and so on, and leave when necessary.
Oh, whorehouse. If there's a chapel, they can't have mass without a priest. So you're telling me this priest gets a whole fucking building full of women to himself? Sounds like a good deal.
What could possibly go wrong?
Actually, nothing will go on because priests are pedophiles. So, you know, classic.
Yes.
Like, obviously, no sex scandal will happen here with all these adult women. Silly
women. I gotta go make my vagina razor sharp teeth.
Yeah, just to be clear, if you're new to watching me or something, like I used to be Catholic, I actually hate the pedophile jokes that priests get because it's such a fragmentary few that tarnish the legacy these men take upon themselves. Clearly, I don't believe in it anymore, but I still highly respect the calling they perceive to have and the sacrifice they take to do so. Very respectful of that. But I'm aware of the jokes. Got to make them.
A nun, on the other hand, lives in a monastery and pretty much never leaves. These nuns live lives that are separate from the world, dedicated to meditation and consecrated to God. If you envision a Buddhist monk or any other cross-cultural universal idea of an isolated hermetic individual dedicating their lives to quiet study, introspection, and a focus away from all things secular, then you've got a good baseline from which to work to understand the rules nuns have to follow. In the case of nuns, they also believe they serve a spiritual function, using their prayers as a constant entreaty and intercession to the divine on behalf of humanity. A modern nun's overall basic schedule isn't too different from what it would have been hundreds of years ago. Get up, pray, eat, pray, clean a bit, read, work, have some conversation, and so on. Every nun nowadays has to follow their orders and monastery's daily schedule. Some are stricter than others, and some are more outgoing enough that they have websites explaining to the world what exactly it is that they do. For instance, orders such as the Benedictines in Herefordshire, England, get up at 5 a.m., pray, eat, have free time, work in the garden, and so on. The Visitation Sisters of Philadelphia have a similar routine, starting the day at 5:30 a.m. and engage in similar activities, including arts and crafts projects and computer-based projects. The Carmelites of Colorado Springs likewise do a lot of sewing and domestic activities, as well as bookkeeping and community correspondence online. Interspersed within these schedules is the Liturgy of Hours, a series of prayers and services throughout the day, such as Lauds first service or Compline last service. And of course, like the rest of us, they have to do regular chores like washing the dishes or milking the cows.
You gotta do chores. Oh,
Wait.
And of course, like the rest of
And as you see here, Doctor, I have no brain or idea what I'm doing with this microscope.
Therefore, I cannot be a nun.
See, under this slide, I have found evidence of God, and it's like just blank, and it's like there is none. Like,
There's a little germ that waves to her. Hi, that's God. Look at him. Isn't he cute?
I like that idea. It's a germ. Hi.
I'm God. I'll send you to hell if you're not good.
And I don't know if it's Spawn 250 or like there's like this in between because I'm not a well-versed Spawn reader. I've collected a lot, but I've barely read any. It's just one of those like I started collecting a bunch of crap, but then I had a lot of bills, so then I had to cut down. So I'm like, I'm just gonna collect Spawn since I've already been doing so. Anyway, Al Simmons, like the movie, black guy, he is Spawn until issue like 180, and they switched and had a new Spawn. He's a white guy. Don't know anything about him thus far, but white guy Spawn for like 70 issues, and then 250 they brought back Al Simmons. But there's like these in between comics, these like one shots for like the switchback, and it was interesting because like Spawn is in like this like void. And then he's talking to God, but God is like a little border collie. It's just very interesting. I did a review of it. It really like got my brain ticking, got the gears moving reading that.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I don't know, it's just funny with the germ god idea. It's like midichlorians.
I'll send you to hell if you're not good. Did you read the Action Bible yet? That's the most accurate depiction of me. And always
they have to do regular chores like washing the dishes or milking the cows.
Every morning I take my cup of coffee to my cow and I squirt milk straight into the coffee.
You can do that?
You can do that, yeah.
The general attitude of the entire proceedings is reverent and internal, or as St. Paul called it in 1 Thessalonians, they, quote, pray without ceasing. If you've ever heard the word mindfulness, remaining appreciative of the moment, one's life, the world's interconnectedness, then you've sort of got the idea, though mindfulness as a practice itself is, of course, Buddhist in origin. That takes us to the big ticket items that most people know, which are universal for all nuns, the vows of chastity, poverty, and obedience. Nuns' vow of chastity gets a lot of attention. It's understandably difficult for most folks to accept and imagine, as sexual relationships are prohibited no matter how much desired. Still, nuns have a lot of other ways to express their love for their fellow human beings, such as community service.
I don't know why I was thinking of like dry humping.
You could always put a pillow in between whatever you're trying to do.
It's like that's for it's like, you know, oh, this is forbidden. It's like, what about dry humping?
When he was listing their things, obedience and chastity, I thought he was going to say and obesity.
No, I hear obedience and chastity. I think of your body, my choice.
No. The chastity is.
I'm Jesus Christ. Your body, my choice.
Chastity is all these. Well, jokes on you. I guess all these women don't want to have sex for the next 4 years. They're abstaining.
Oh no, not the ugly handmaids boycotting sex. Oh yeah, how will humanity survive?
It's fun. I want to continue watching Handmaid's Tale because it's funny how everybody.
Oh yeah. Wait, because of the fucking just the meltdown, we gotta start recording the bros on Handmaid's Tale. Because like what a perfect time to start watching the show, Rookie. Like I'm caught up to where we're at in the next season. The last season drops next year. All right, so we gotta start burning through it and recording We'll put it on Spotify. It'd be perfect because when you look up podcasts on Spotify of Handmaid's Tale, it's all feminist. Even if it's like a panel of guys, they're all feminist cucks. And so they're all like fucking self-flagellating themselves about what women suffer reflected in the show, which is like, yeah, I kind of see like the mindset or the fear of like things retrograding, limiting your right to abort your children. Otherwise, no, like men don't want to subjugate you. Like, yeah, we joke, go back in the kitchen, you know, trad wives and stuff, but like the bar is so low. Like, as long as you're like kind of friendly, as long as you give like sex once a week or a month, like guys are really complacent for like relationships, very complacent, easygoing. We just want someone to be affectionate with, you know. The affection, like a touch more so than like sex cool, you know, we're horn dogs, but like it's really the affection and the investment. So it's really weird that women are so fearful. Because most guys, whether it's conditioning or not by society, like most guys just don't have this violent caveman subjugation idea of, you know, maybe ideally they'd like the housewife setting where they suffer and do work and then come home and have like the housewife. She'd maybe cook something, wash the dishes, but otherwise she's got a pretty easy life, you know, made by him. I don't know. It's just strange. And so it's really weird listening to these podcasts where it's like, obviously women are going to have this sentiment. So I, you know, like I expect it, but then I hear like guys just agreeing and, you know, fucking submitting. It's so weird. There's never like pushback at anything with these conversations. So I think it's very important actually to throw our hat in the ring and not be confrontational, not just be like, because someone like Ben Shapiro is going to engage it and just neg on it completely, you know, and disingenuously. I think it'd be like his Barbie review. But yeah, like there's no like normal guys engaging the show and reacting to it. And even though it's almost over, it's still so pertinent, you know, because of the imagery of it, the preposterousness of this being implemented in America. Everything about that is based on like modern reality is the Islamic world. That's what people don't get, you know. So it's very annoying. But yeah, Handmaid's Tale. I really like the show. It's very interesting. It's a cool sci-fi concept for a dystopia. Dystopia. It's like a nice, clean world. There's no trash. Everyone's orderly, or they get thrown into the cities to work with the whores, or they're just hung on a fucking wall.
Yeah, but I mean that's why I think it's funny when they keep on saying that it's like, you know, oh, our rights are gonna be taken away, and like a lot of people are saying Handmaid's Tale. Oh no, it's like, I mean, it made sense in Handmaid's Tale why they did what they did. It made entirely sense. I mean, if we were to do something similar in real life, it would probably be for similar reasons. But
yeah, you know. It's really annoying when people invoke Handmaid's Tale for like fear mongering politically, because I don't know if they're just stupid or if it's purposeful obfuscation. I feel like it's the latter. They're purposely omitting the reality of the scenario is a fertility crisis. The bottom just falls out. No one's having children. And I don't know about the book, but in the film that, you know, the show, they give you so much more meat on the plot. And so they give us extra stuff with her in her past. And so she has a kid during this like full panic crisis globally, awareness of fertility just collapsing. People are getting pregnant and then they're delivering stillborns. So for whatever reason, we're just like dying as a species. And so this like radical Christian ideology in America, they don't really go in detail explaining it, but like seems they did, you know, seeped into the government in various ways. They arguably created like terrorist false flags to take control more so and create martial law. And then they start like subjugating women in various ways, ingredients kind of like Germany with the Jews. Um, but yeah, her character has a child born in this crisis, and so she's fertile. And so, like, fertile women are the most prized possession. At some point in the show, first season, there's a female ambassador from Mexico visiting what is now Gilead, not America. Gilead takes over the continental U.S. All that's left is Hawaii and Alaska for United States. United States, everyone's had to flee to Canada if they're not already in those two states. So America, as we know, it's completely gone. And they're just like struggling to like cling on to anything. So it's like a huge refugee crisis in Canada. And so our main character is stuck in America, Gilead. She becomes a handmaid. And so she's like sectioned out to different houses trying to get pregnant for the commander and his wife. But what's interesting is they reveal later in the show, it's like they're the only country in the world having an uptick in fertility. And it's because they have this oppressive system. And the reality of the oppressive system based on our realities, based on Islamic totalitarianism. But it's packaged like Puritanism, you know. It's like the imagery is American and Christian, but it's actually Islam. You don't get this society in Christianity. You might get like Mormonism. You might get Amish. You get some seclusionary sects of Christendom, but generally speaking, Christendom is open to some degree. It evangelizes, it exposes itself. So it's like it's a very liberal idea already. So like the fear mongering is like, oh, they'll just make laws where you can't kill your baby. that just means like be responsible, you know. Like I don't get the like, you know, and all the stats are there. None of the abortions are from rape. They're all from poor choices. They're from non-marital sex. They're from promiscuity. So you sex boycotting is actually cutting down on abortion, idiot. Like it's kind of like a non-issue if you're just responsible. But the show is so interesting. It's a very interesting concept, but unfortunately, it's only made because it politically resonates with like the fear mongering. So it's frustrating because you get those undertones of like purposeful, like, see, this is happening if we don't stop Trump. It's strange. But I really like it. It's one of those like don't write it off just because the people touting it, if that makes sense. Get up, pray, eat, pray, work in the garden. The New York Times bestseller, now Hollywood movie starring Sydney Sweeney. Oh, what's going on? You're having a good time, and I'm enjoying it. But yeah, we gotta do Bros on Handmaid's Tale because I think it'd trigger people.
Yes.
Let's see some more of these nuns.
Service, prayer, and devotional activities, and communing with the divine in a more universal way. The phrases married to Jesus or brides of Christ are often invoked in this case. A vow of poverty may be equally difficult to imagine in our capitalist world, but if you've ever felt swallowed by the emptiness of a consumerist life and the hollow, unending appropriation of meaningless goods, then the idea of living simply might sound appealing. And that's what it really is. Not a vow of being destitute, but rather one of not engaging in excess. Pare down, dial it back. Own your own soap, of course, but detach yourself from material things in lieu of spiritual things, which is a sentiment shared by numerous other faiths as well. And finally, obedience. Obedience to what? Well, to a life lived in imitation of Jesus, of course. Of course, following all these rules isn't for everyone, but for those who decide on this particular life path, there's a sequence of steps that must be followed. A multi-year application process to ensure that would-be nuns are serious about the whole thing. There are differences according to order, Benedictines versus Dominicans versus Passionists, and so on. But according to Aletheia, the overall structure is the same for everyone. Being an aspirant means that someone has formally approached an order and said that they want to join. They continue to live amid society for another year or two while doing outreach, projects, teaching, monitoring social media, whatever needs doing with their chosen community. A postulant has formally moved into the monastery, but she's not allowed to be called the sister and wears different clothing from nuns who have made their final steps. This is supposed to be a time of intense inward focus that lasts maybe 6 months.
Sister, have you considered the seriousness of what you're doing?
Yes.
A novice has been officially accepted and can start classes and training, take vows, and possibly change her name. After this, there are ranks leading up to fully professed nun, and eventually Mother Superior, who's in charge of a monastery. Some other rules nuns have to follow, as Kiwi Report says: keep on your habit, no luxury foods, and as of a 2016 papal instruction by Pope Francis, limit social media. Now that might be the hardest vow of all. Check out one of our newest videos right now.
Well, I could never be a nun.
No.
I wonder if they have trans nuns. Let me look that up.
Oh, probably.
See if there's any weird sects that have tried to make their own Catholic shit. I know there's been like fake Catholic women priests. Trans nun. Oh my god, there's a Reddit subreddit, trans Christianity. That does no. Let me read this.
Does not compute.
Can trans women be nuns? I've been seeking vocation, and I'd really wish I could be a genuine. But I'm convinced I might need to commit to a religious life of some sort. I don't know what it will be, but something. But sadly, there's no comments in my state of Minnesota for the Episcopal Church. It's not safe elsewhere for me. Maybe there is a Methodist or Lutheran group. I'm not sure. Considered being an oblate, if not able. In the end, I'll probably just volunteer at my church, but I want to help my trans siblings spiritually. Someone replies, I like to tell people I'm a Matthew 19:12 trans. Some of us absolutely choose this path for the sake of the kingdom, because the dissociation and dysphoria is a powerful disconnection from God's love. Key idea, it's really hard to serve when dissociated. I think they're misspelling that word. Whether your church convent accepts you or not is separate from how you feel about your own. What's the obstacle? Church rules, your own worry about acceptance. It's just like, yeah, it sounds like your Christianity would be a lot easier if you weren't trans, because it doesn't go together. Like,
Right.
It's like, sounds like you should be praying on your dysphoria.
A little bit.
That's wacky to actually find. At least it's not a I don't know, like just rabid, angry at God trans.
Yeah.
It's just like, pick a lane, man. Like, oh, fucking, I sent a link to Godfo Dan, but he's busy. But I'll probably talk to him on the phone at least tomorrow. I don't know if he's streaming or not. I don't know. He asked me if I'm free tomorrow. But what have you been thinking about, Ricky?
Nothing too much. Yeah, I'm trying to get back to making videos again, finally. Reviewing some stuff, and can start posting those soon. Actually reading some of the comics that I have, so I have like 90
I'm bad
comics.
about that.
I have 90 comic books, and I have not reviewed pretty much any of them.
Yeah, I was a couple weeks behind. I'm already way behind reading anything I've bought like this year at the comic store. And so I got just piles to read. And then I missed like 2 weeks going to the store. And so I went the other day and I had like $67. So I was like, what, like 20 comics? I'm like, oh man, I'm so behind. Like, I'm never going to catch up.
Yeah.
It's better to have stuff to ingest than twiddle your thumbs. Like, what do I want to do? Like, so
true.
It's something I've invested in, so I should probably put the effort in.
But
like, I got the new Witchblade. I started reading Old Witchblade, and I like it so far. Because it's Michael Turner art, and he's fucking, the way he draws women is just so unique.
Sweet.
But
Yeah, other than that, Call of Duty 6, surprisingly good.
oh right, yeah, you and me have both been on a gaming journey.
Yes, like honestly, like it's so good. Like I could do the campaign again, a little harder, and I think I'd still have fun because it was really good. Zombies are pretty fun too. A lot of different things you can do there that are fun. So, yeah, nice and good.
You ever
Nice
got the
and good
appeal of
there.
Call of Duty Zombies?
Well, then you are a flag it.
Yeah, I don't know. Zombies just stupid in general, but
You're stupid in general.
because like it's not even a zombie game. It's like just like this weird.
Well, so when it first was invented, it was actually just called Nazi Zombies, and it was the 5th Call of Duty game, World at War, and it just had this extra feature, just this one little thing you can do, that where you're like, it's these scenarios like a ship crashes, and there's this little shack out there, and you notice there's a bunch of guys running at you, and they happen to be zombies, and so you board up in this little shack, and you're supposed to protect the windows and shoot the zombies that are trying to get in from the windows and stuff, and you can board them back up, and you earn points, and then you last a few rounds, and you can open another door and go to a new room and get different weapons and try to see how long you can survive. It's just a strategy game and see how long you can survive, and the waves get a little harder, there's more numbers, and they get faster sometimes, and yeah, just like a fun little thing.
Yeah, I know.
It's evolved to. There's a lot of zombie games that are really retarded now, so it's hard to find a good zombie map that actually is like fun and good because they've added so much stuff to it. The beginning, the first few things they added were pretty cool. It's like the Wonder Waffles, like this gun that electrocutes like 10 of them in a row. As it's coming at you later.
Wait, stop. I'm trying to think. What do you call this kind of game? Because it's just like it's rounds that just keep going. Like
it's just
maybe
like waves.
there's like a round 100.
It's just like waves. I don't know, round based games or waves. They come in waves, essentially.
I feel like there's
a
like
survival type of game because you're just trying to see because you do it until you die.
Yeah.
So it's basically that, but they make little things to make it interesting as they went for the first few levels of zombies that they made, where you get like a couple of sodas you can drink that are called Juggernaut, Double Tap, Revive, and Quick Revive, and some I forget Speedy Cola, and it's like little funny perks that you can get to help your character survive longer. So you can last more hits, you can run faster, you can reload faster, you can shoot. You have like twice as many rounds or something. And if you get knocked down, you can revive yourself once. They made some fun features to it, but now it's like they're so insane sometimes. But in Call of Duty 6, that's why I'm giving it a compliment. It's because they've done it pretty well, where it's not too kooky and convoluted. It gives you options to do that kind of stuff, but you're not forced to. So it's just fun. See, especially again, you didn't have many people to game with, right? You didn't have anybody to grind it out with or do co-op stuff with. This was like one of the main co-op things you do with a buddy as well. Like you and your buddy just a Friday night or something in school and just like, oh, do zombies, man. Oh shit, fuck, oh, zombie, oh, fuck. Sure, you cover the window, I'll cover the door. Okay, one of those things. Since
yeah, no, I played
you
a lot
haven't
of
experienced that stuff. I feel like it might not catch on as much.
I played a lot of Black Ops or Black Ops 2 when I was deployed with like the squad, and we do like I think at the time it was like max like four player mode,
4-player co-op,
which is fun. Of like free for all, and like you learn the map, the good spots, fucking hidey hole spots and everything. That was always fun. And then like Madden, of course. I love Madden because I love the game of football. I love the challenge or self-imposed challenge. Like, oh, like okay, I threw 60 touchdowns this season. Let me get this better parity in my interception to touchdowns. Let me get more yards, whatever. Trying to beat your best with like strategy and precision. But yeah, like when we're deployed, we're playing Madden. I remember this one game. We're doing like 5-minute, 6-minute quarters, whatever. and we're just playing like the standard rosters for like the load up, and I think it was like Chicago versus Steelers or something. And I had the last drive. I'm making it down the field, and I gotta just kick a simple field goal. But then like I fucked up on my timing for no reason. Like I was playing this game a lot. I did all the like training mode stuff to learn like the concepts to, you know, be proficient. And for no fucking reason, I fucked up on the field goal. So we went to overtime, and then he fucking won. And I was like, ah! So no, multiplayer is fun. I did play Call of Duty, might have been Black Ops 2, multiplayer like online. Some that was fun. It's like on other people's accounts, but I had fun doing it. But I don't know. It's just one of those like after that point, then it became like people only care about multiplayer on the fucking game, and no one like bought those games for like the story. You know, like when I was a kid, I got Medal of Honor, like the Japanese one, and it's like you're going through the plot. You're a single player, and you're going through the plot of like different areas of Japan trying to like survive, you know, and there's stages and challenges versus like multiplayer just like kind of ruin that genre. So it's cool. Like you tell me there's a plot and stuff. There's different modes of like, you know, just spraying and shit. That's cool. But it's one of those like I'm just like kind of past now. Like maybe if you were here, I'd probably play with you, but it's just something I'll never like invest in.
Well, I gotcha. But I mean, even the zombie stuff was pretty fun for a while. Like different characters that you play as. There's like there's 4 characters for the zombies and stuff. And there's like a Russian, a Chinese guy, and a couple like American and something else. And you know, he's like, you know, it's Russian. Oh, this tastes like shit. You know, they have different funny dialogue. You know, oh, these just like something in my country. Just like,
oh, Mongolian
funny dialogue. You know, they get the zombie hits you and it's like, oh, this breath smells like shit. You know, they say just like funny stuff too. And there's like little radios you can find to go, oh, this is like, oh, some of the scientists that were making the zombies, and you can piece together a story if you want to, but like you're really just hamming it out with your buddies trying to have fun. And there's like a mystery box that'll give you a random weapon. You pay points and you get a random weapon, and if you're in the middle of a thing and you're trying to get a good weapon, it's like, oh shit, come on, a pistol, fuck that, no, I need the machine gun, or need the ray gun, fuck. And it's like funnier if your buddy's you're both trying to use the box. It's like, oh, you asshole, I'm trying to use it, you know. And then if it there's just some fun stuff there. I feel like it's the kind of thing that if you had more co-op options growing up, you would love this kind of stuff.
Yeah, probably
for sure. But it's good for solo too. But it's more fun with a buddy. Like it's like perfectly designed for like co-ops.
Yeah, I'm an only child, so I'm just single player mode.
Yep.
In life.
Therefore, you are less than.
But no, I've been playing a lot of Crusader Kings 3, and I was telling Ricky about some of these features and challenges. It's really, I've not played any of the campaigns. I just did the tutorial, then been watching a lot of videos about different like aspects of it, how to get better and stuff, like understanding. It's a lot to take in. Like it's a huge this is like going from Pokemon to D&D, going from Rome Total War, it's pretty simple, to fucking Crusader Kings, which is just like, oh no, this is like Dark Souls. Like you might just lose. Like if you don't have an heir, you're just going to lose. So I fucked up. You know, I'm on a new restart, and I finally landed as like the main player a kingdom title, so that's going to pass down to the heir. So it's like sweet, and it's cool playing like these Chinese people. They're egalitarian, so you can have matrilineal lines. But most of the map, most of the kingdoms, they're patriarchal, unless you take over a dynasty and adapt it once you get to the point you can to change the rules to be egalitarian. It's all like just men, which is kind of more simple, but it's cool. You can have a boy or a girl, and your dynasty's not going to die, you know, or you're not fretting for like marriages and stuff, alliances. But yeah, like the campaign before, because I made a girl character, and I ended up marrying either that character or the daughter married the king. But then every kid, that next generation player in my dynasty, it was the king's kids, not mine, for like the house I'm in. And so I have no heirs. Like everything would just lateral to the king, to my kids, to the king. But I think the game would end if I died because I have no actual heir. And it's like, what? So like that's the challenge of the game, is just simple shit like that. And there's stuff where it's like, not only are you trying to have alliances and have kids, but then there's like, oh, this character, if you marry them, they have this big perk, but they're sterile. And so they have like a minus 50% chance of fertility. Or it'd be like, you have a congenital trait, which could be inherited, like ugly. So that gives you like a negative percentage. Or you could be hideous, and that's even worse. Or you could be like comely, which is, you're kind of cute. And then there's like pretty, and then there's beautiful. So there's some of these congenital traits where it's like you can really like start making like thoroughbred dynasty.
Is it like on a stat sheet or something? You got like the ugly gene and the beauty.
Well,
gene.
like when you start the game, you can create your own ruler, and if you want it to like save and as you advance, actually, like if you do a certain achievement, it'll like give you the credit for the achievement. You have to stay within a point system, so it's like you get 400 points. But so much of it's already cut off because of your age. So if you're like 16 is like the first you can be an adult in the game. So I set it to like 16 to like maximize my adult time. And then you have the rest of those points to like pick like a school that range from like 20 to 150, I think, points. And it'll be like there's like 4 or 5 schools of thought. There's like expertise in like military, stewarding, which is like kind of money revenue, development, and then there's learning, there's diplomacy, and there's intrigue. Intrigue is like intrigues like espionage, spy, hostile, like murder plots. And so like you pick a gradient of 1 to 5 of that. So that already cuts off. That's like your specialty of how you're going to like advance like that tree of accomplishments, advancements, whatever. And you can switch, but you're only going to like pick out a couple versus if you just stay in one lane, you can like max it out. And so you try and do that, but then like you'll die. And so then your kid takes over. So then you're playing as the kid. And so if you didn't put the effort to like have someone with good traits educating your child, then they're just going to have the baseline. Maybe they inherit some stuff from you, but they're just going to have like a lower gradient. And then there's traits too, where it's like, I want to be compassionate. And so that'll give you a perk if you're like X religion, but then it's negative for certain things. Like if you start getting stressed, you're a content person. So if you do stressful shit, if you start executing prisoners, your stress goes up. And if you keep leveling up your stress, you might die from it. So it's just all these little facets all interplay together. And then like the economy aspect is interesting because it's like there's like 4 different currencies for like action. There's like gold, of course. There's piety for how faithful you are. So if you're like a fornicator, that hurts like your perception with your priest class, whatever religion you're in. Or it could be a perk if you're like a Viking or something. It's like, cool, you're lustful. But usually lustful is like a negative trait. It hurts your perception with people. When you're building your stuff, you might pick negative things. So you can like, this thing I want 25, but I only have 15 points available. So let me like, that's just like for you bloating your character. You have like that window of points to like pick these traits and personality things, and then you start playing, and then you will get new stuff off of like being a loser or a winner on like battle, or and then your spouse matters too. If they have like good trait that you're missing, you can like use them to compensate for. If you suck at diplomacy but they're really good, their stats will fold into yours, and so you'll get like that boost for making alliances and stuff. It's really fun. It's really good like overview of what it would be like to be a ruler. all the pies you have to have your fingers in. It's definitely a good management game. I think it gives you some, I think it's a good insight to have some humility, judging people in the past, rulers and stuff. I really like it. It's so addictive for my kind of personality. It's like the hugest fucking time sink. But it is rewarding. But it's like I can't even really listen to podcasts because I got to read so many like slides that pop up for making decisions that like I can't focus at all in the background listening to like Rogan or anybody with this game. It's so engaging. So yeah, it's one of those like if you never played a game like this, it's so fucking much. It's a headache, but it's very rewarding once you start getting grasping concepts and you start like applying it all together. Hamilton Burger says, glad to see you stream again, Angus. We'll have to watch the replay tomorrow though. Oh well, thank you, appreciate it. Hamilton Burger, thank you for joining. Yeah, it's kind of sporadic, just popping back up, but had to do it at some point. And hopefully in a week or two we'll get Horseman in the mail, so we'll start rocking and rolling again. Unfortunately, I will be switching to nights again, so it'll be a couple weeks. I'll have to just not stream on Thursday for the night slot, but plan to be at it more again. It's good taking a break. Nothing really imposing it besides rookie working and me being tired sometimes. You know, maybe I should push through, but I don't know. So it's a job that like I got to get so much sleep or I miss work and I'm late and I get points. So
yeah,
you know, it's some of those like balancing acts, unfortunately. Yeah, I think we're calling it a night. Appreciate y'all hanging out. Look forward to talking to y'all next week. We'll have more of a goal, I guess, for keeping our head out for topics. I wasn't gonna talk about Star Wars, but I just didn't feel organic tonight. So there's always new Star Wars shit to talk about week to week. So anyway, talk to y'all later. Thanks for joining. See you next week.